got lots to talk about today, so get in here. This is Jack with Cosmic Road. I talk about UFOs and the paranormal. Please hit like and subscribe and let me know what you think in the comments below. Yeah, look at this awesome USO captured on camera, this glowing green light under the water. This is pretty cool. Yeah, there's more than one of them, as you can see. Of course, there's lots of these that have been seen over the years, objects coming and going from the water. George Knapp actually took one, or was part of a party that took a film very much like this, where you can actually see the object descending into the water and then this green glow that emanates out from it. Really cool. Now, there's some additional details here going into the numbers that they see with these objects, with these transmedium, USO type of objects.
Keep your eyes peeled for all domain anomalies, ADAs, because apparently these mysterious objects aren't just flying anymore. They are up, they are down, they are even in the ocean. Seems thousands of the unidentified objects are reported every year, not spotted in the sky, but instead spotted in the water. Since 2022, an app called Enigma has tracked more than 9,000 water-based sightings within 10 miles of U.S. coasts, and they're plotted on these maps. The anomalies were shooting out of the water, or they were hovering over the water, or they were diving into the water, and get this, usually without making a splash. Okay, Ben, the video that we were just
I love that. Thousands of them reported since 2022 with Enigma, this app. I think it's awesome. The implications of that, the potentials of that is really amazing. A civilian app and data that's accessed by civilians, theoretically with no tampering from, the powers that be, although who knows. But yeah, if civilians can gather, their own data, our own data, on the phenomenon, wouldn't that be amazing? Not just along the seas and what's going on in and out of the water, but also over the land, what parts of the world they congregate over, what is the activity of the phenomenon. I love it. I think the potential there is really amazing. So fingers crossed for more like that. Meanwhile, the vice president is talking about his take on aliens.
Because Tulsi Gabbard says that she believes there are aliens. Do you believe that?
I don't. It's interesting. I wouldn't say that I do or don't believe it. I mean, I'm a big believer that there are things out there that we can't explain. And so if another person sees an alien, maybe I see an angel or a demon. So I'm a big believer that there are like spiritual forces working on the physical world that a lot of us don't see and a lot of us don't understand and a lot of us don't appreciate. But, is it aliens or is it our guardian angel, or is it aliens or is it a not so guardian force that doesn't care about us or in fact actively wishes us harm? I don't know the answer to that question. What I try to do is I try to say my prayers. I try to be as good of a person as I can be, and I try to do a good job. And hopefully that's all I need to do.
Terrific. Thank you so much.
Thanks.
Okay, there you go. Another high-level individual, when asked about UFOs, starts talking about angels and demons. We've seen this a lot recently, seemingly. Now, Anna Paulina Luna, when she was talking about it, she talked about angels and demons, but she also talked about other dimensional beings, interdimensional beings. That was her term. So, is potentially, this idea that they're angels and demons, not too far off the mark. Maybe angels and demons are just terms we use to describe things that we can't understand. But it's interesting that they are going there. They're putting their own religious framework on it. And, if you're religious, maybe you think, hey, that's on the money. But me, I'm thinking maybe, we are using those terms to describe things we can't understand. And some of them may be more positive, more angelic. And then some of them be maybe more negative, more demonic. There are certainly cases that seem to fit both of those bills, and near-death experiences. People go to the other side, and yeah, they see angels. Maybe not necessarily Christian angels in the way that we think of them, but yeah, they see angels and they hear angelic songs. these beings do seem to be real. At the same time, there are all sorts of horrible possessions in things that might indicate, something else on the other side is going on. But I don't know if those are necessarily strictly Christian angels or demons. I think we're looking at something a lot more complicated, but it is interesting that high-level people are starting to talk about this. And that's another way to look at it, is that, they may be allowed in their own mind and in the minds of their constituents, some of them, to talk about this because they are framing it in religious ways. Maybe they don't want to go there talking about aliens. Maybe they would prefer to talk about angels and demons, but they are talking about it and they are admitting there's something there. So I think that's significant. I think that's really significant. Now, if they are angels and demons, Robin wants to know, do spiritual forces or guardian angels leave behind a carcass? Asking for a friend, because we've got bodies, y'all. We've got bodies. And I think that's a great question. Critical question to all of this. Some of these beings do seem to be other dimensional or interdimensional, but they do have craft that can appear to be nuts and bolts craft that can be reverse engineered. They do leave behind bodies. So maybe when they materialize into this world with their craft also that materialize, those are now things of this world, or not. Let me know your thoughts. Maybe with the case of the Nazca mummies, my belief is they were specifically created for this world, so they are material, but the beings that created them may not necessarily be as flesh and blood. But let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Meanwhile, encouraging news about Tulsi Gabbard speaking with Liberation Times, says Christopher Sharp. Representative Eric Burleson suggested Tulsi Gabbard is prepared to act. Ask whether her new Directors Initiatives group, established to restore trust in the intelligence community through targeted declassification, might extend its work to UAP, Burleson said. I do. From what I hear and see with Tulsi, she is not messing around. She's trying to right the wrongs. Based on everything I've seen, I'm excited about her in this position as Director of National Intelligence because I think she truly supports disclosure. We've already seen amazing releases, like documents related to the JFK assassination. Some of those were really damning for the CIA. Events from 60 years ago, yes, but still things the agency clearly didn't want out. Yet under Tulsi's leadership, they were released. Well, they were released, but, we didn't get the good stuff. They were damning and, okay, if you want to call it damning, but not enough to put anybody in jail or get the CIA shut down or anything like that. So I don't know how damning they were. I mean, assuming any of those people were alive to, put in jail. But, we did get a few nibbles in that release, which is more than we've gotten before. So with some UFO stuff, if they got, declassified and released in that way, I think we'd get some nibbles. I don't know if it would amount to UFO disclosure, just like I don't think the JFK release amounted to JFK disclosure, but, better than what we had before, forward progress. But it would be nice to get them even more engaged. Oh yeah, here's another nice USO. Look at this awesome, weird alien ship under the water, if that's what it is. Again, we have multiple Congress people talking about the USOs, which is interesting. Was Eric Burleson said that what he had been exposed to in the briefs reminded him of the movie The Abyss, and he talked about a structure. Now in the movie The Abyss, there is an alien city at the bottom of the ocean. Is that the structure? What did he mean by a structure? Was he talking about a craft? Maybe, but I don't think there's a lot of alien craft necessarily in the movie The Abyss. I think there's some alien probes, liquid mercury probes, but not a whole lot of alien ships flying around. So, interesting. And Anna Polina Luna talking about the Bermuda Triangle. Apparently that's a thing, and Congress people are admitting it. I mean, we are living in crazy times, guys. Meanwhile, 3 Wright-Patterson people died mysteriously. 3 Air Force personnel died at Wright-Patterson, October 24th to 25th. Yeah, over a 2-day time period, I think. Coincidence? Mario Knopfel asks. Maybe. But the base sits atop Roswell lore. Legend says Hangar 18 houses a 1947 UFO and its 3-foot gray-skinned crew. Senator Barry Goldwater asked General Curtis LeMay for access. LeMay refused. Never ask again. Now 3 researchers from classified divisions are dead. First Lieutenant Gus Gustitis studied human performance enhancement. Interesting. Jamie Pritchard managed weapon systems life cycles. Ohio investigators are silent. The mystery deepens. So, yeah, very mysterious deaths of these individuals at Wright-Patterson Air Force Base. So, obviously a site heavily associated with UFO lore. Ross Coulthart called Wright-Patterson at one point a veritable parking lot of UFOs. That's where a lot of the UFOs that get retrieved from all over the world get sent before being distributed wherever they get distributed to, seemingly. Also, the Kandahar Giant, well, word is that that's where it went after being killed in Kandahar. So, yeah, definitely a hub of a lot of the strangeness, the Men in Black, the X-Files, all that kind of stuff. The government's, involvement in the, anomalous. A lot of it seems centered around Wright-Patterson Airfield. So, mysterious deaths there are very mysterious and definitely raise eyebrows. Let's see. Oh, yeah, about Tulsi Gabbard and about Eric Burleson's comments on Tulsi Gabbard, Jeremy Corbell said, I will say, George Knapp, and I would only expect a true attempt at UAP transparency to the American public coming from the good folks at ODNI Gov under the strength of Tulsi Gabbard, especially in 2025. I hope you're right, Chris Sharp and Eric Burleson. So, that's interesting. So, Jeremy is also saying and encouraging things about Tulsi Gabbard's interest in UFO disclosure. I mean, talk is cheap. I want some action, guys. I want some action. Meanwhile, we have a Grokpedia now, in opposition to Wikipedia. That's right. Elon Musk has formed his own version of Wikipedia called Grokpedia, which is a cool name anyway. And it's said to be better than Wikipedia. It's not as beholden to the establishment narratives. It doesn't give quite as much BS and debunking as Wikipedia does, or at least it doesn't yet. I looked at their page on remote viewing and it still had a lot of debunking on there. So I'm not like crazy about Grokpedia yet. But from what I've seen, it is better. It is better. So forward steps, I guess. Let me know if you have experimented with Grokpedia and what your results have been. Is it better than Wikipedia? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Meanwhile, Trump lands in Tokyo ahead of a reception, and Fox News accidentally may have caught a UFO. Check it out. All right, so the camera's just lingering on the limos and the flags, and pan over to the skyline, and boom, anomalous light in the sky. What is that guy? What's that thing right there? Is that a lens flare? Is that a drone? Is that a plane? What is that thing? There's a slightly clearer view of it somewhere. But yeah, what is that thing, guys? Is that a plane? Looks kind of plainish. Could it be a mystery drone? Let me know your thoughts. Oh, and I thought this was interesting. Why are there megalithic ruins found in the Andes, Cusco and that sort of thing? Why is Peru so special in that way? There's megalithic construction all around the world that seems like it has a single author or, a common, well of knowledge anyway, that somebody distributed this information to the world and they used it. But why is there so much in the Andes? Well, open-minded approach says South America has a natural wall protecting it from the ocean during the geophysical event. The high Andes act as a barrier, which is why the most sophisticated structures, such as Sacsayhuaman and Machu Picchu, are found at higher elevations, around 12,000 and 8,000 feet. So were those protected from some cataclysmic event? some flood or something like that? Is that the implication here? Is that why there are seemingly more intact structures, or somewhat intact structures found in that part of the world versus the rest of the world? Interesting theory. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Let me know what you think about it all in the comments below. Like and subscribe. Hit the bell to be notified of future videos. You don't want to miss a thing. Yeah, I had to include an octopus since we were talking about USOs. Some people think they're aliens. What do you think? Definitely pretty cool, whatever he is. Anyway, let me know what you think about it all. Like and subscribe, buy a t-shirt, support the channel, become a channel member. And of course, there's plenty of other videos on the channel. See you next time, guys. This is Jack with Cosmic Road, signing out.